Hey guys, welcome back. Today let's see the use cases of Python in DevOps. So as we know, Python is one of the most powerful programming language. So it is most involved in automation and AI, everything. Even if you take ChatGPT, everything mostly uses Python. And all the AI tools, mostly it will be written in Python. So it is very easy to learn language. It is basic English, and also it is more powerful. Like you can do multiple things with Python. So where is Python used? So Python is used everywhere. Okay. So let's assume like in case of space and science, we know NASA, SpaceX. So everyone uses Python for simulations, automation, and AI-driven analysis. And even the games like Civilization 4, Battle 2 are very famous. So those are written in Python. So in fintech trading, JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs use Python. And if we see the media and entertainment, so Netflix, YouTube, Spotify, everything use Python for recommendation algorithm. So when we search for anything, it will recommend few things, right? So all these things are written in Python, and mainly the AI and machine learning. So we have multiple modules like TensorFlow, PyTorch, OpenAI. So everything runs on AI, and all the e-commerce applications like Amazon, eBay. So everything is written in Python. So even in DevOps and cloud, we have we can use it for automation, CI/CD pipelines, and even in the cloud automation like AWS, Azure, GCP, we use Python. So how we can install Python? So on Windows, we can just go to the official site, and then we have to add it in the path. And then if you click on install now, it will install. Okay, then you can verify. You can open the PowerShell and you can type Python-v so that we will get to know whether Python is installed or not. Similarly, in case if you want to install it on Linux, then we have to open the terminal and sudo apt update and apt install Python 3 and Python pip-y. Okay, and to check the version, we have to use Python 3 hyphen version. So how simple is it? So for example, if you want to write hello world program in Python, it just takes one line. Okay, print hello world. That's it. Okay. Whereas in Java, we have to mention public classic and then public static void and then system out println. So multiple steps are involved. Okay. In Python, just in a single line, we will be able to achieve that thing. And what are the important Python modules for DevOps? Okay, so these are the main modules which we will use in the DevOps in the day-to-day activity. Okay, so what are these? For example, we have a module called OS. Okay, so we will use different operating systems, right? So Linux, Windows, Mac, whatever it is. So in case if we want to write a script that has to work on Windows, then actually we have to write shell Python script, sorry, PowerShell scripting. Whereas in Linux, we have to write shell scripting. But in case if you want to write a script which works on both the Windows and Linux, then we can use Python. Okay, so OS module which will help in this thing. Okay, so this OS module it will interact with the operating file systems and all the environment variables, everything will be handled. And then we have some other module called sys. Okay, so this provides the system parameters. Okay, so for example, if you have to check any system related parameters like processor, RAM, CPU and all, then you can use sys. And then we have subprocess. For example, you want to run some shell commands in the Python, then you can use subprocess. And Paramico, this is also very important in case if you want to do association to the server, we have to use this Paramico module. Because in when you are working in the production and those things, normally we will be by default we have to log into multiple servers to check any issue or else to deploy anything. Then Paramico will be very helpful. And then we have some module called requests. So what exactly requests will do? For example, if you are querying something from internet or something, the API calls will be made, right? So all these things can be handled using requests module. And we have a most important module Boto3. Okay, for example, if you want to work with any of the AWS resources, you can use Boto3. This is officially supported by AWS as well. And in case if you want to work with the Docker, then you have to use the Docker module. To work with Kubernetes, we have something called Kubernetes client. So using this, we will be able to work with the Kubernetes clusters. And then to check the system resources like CPU, memory, and disk usage, we can use psutil. And in case if you want to monitor any of the loggings and the logs of the servers, we can use the logging module. So these are all the main modules. So in case if you are familiar with these modules, you can handle any task related to DevOps easily. Okay. And how we can install module. Okay. So for example, here we have seen multiple modules, right? So here we have multiple modules. In case if you want to install one module, then you can just use pip install and then module name. So why we use pip? Pip is the package manager for Python. How we have apt for Ubuntu and M for Red Hat. Similarly for Python we have pip. Okay. So in case if you want to install single module, for example OS, subprocess, Paramiko, anything, you can give pip install Paramiko, pip install OS, whatever it is. Okay. But in case if you want to install multiple modules, we have seen 10 modules, right? If you want to install all the modules at once, then you have to create a file called requirements.txt. Okay, you have to create a file with the name of requirements.txt, and then inside the file you have to mention all the modules like request, boto3, paramiko, docker, everything. And to install, you can just use pip install -r requirements.txt. So all the modules which are required will be installed automatically. Okay, so now let's see a few examples like how these modules can be used in Python. So for example, we have to use request model. Okay, why we use request model? For example, we have a client app and we have to connect to the API and we have to uh, check some data from database. So what initially we will do, we will send a request and then it will query a database, and then the data will be fetched from API and then the response will be given to the client app. Okay, so how we can use? First thing is we have to use it as import requests. Okay, when we give it as import request, it will import the module request, and in modules we can use whatever we want. Okay, so in case if you want to check all the available parameters for particular module, you can use dir, and then if you give open and close brace, it will list all the available modules. So you can google these things and you can write any program. Okay, so now let's see OS module. Okay, so similarly, in case if you want to use OS module, we have to use import OS and then we have can write the queries. Similarly, we have for sub-process, and then similarly we have for Boto3. So in case if you want to query a bucket or something using AWS, like in AWS, you can use Boto3, and then you can give any variable and using Boto3 client S3, and then it will list the buckets available. So it is printing the buckets. So this is the overview. So the main thing which you guys have to focus in case if you want to crack any of the DevOps interview or something, the main thing is that you have to mainly focus on different modules. So we have already seen the different modules which are helpful. So in case if you want to see, so um, so these are all the modules. Okay, so if you are familiar with these modules, you will be able to write any scripts. Okay. Okay, guys, that's it for today. You guys can try to practice these modules by learning the basics of Python. So it will be very helpful in your day-to-day activity. Okay. Thank you very much, guys. Bye. See you.